Hello, Prim friends. I am back in Seville Antiques, and I wanted to give you a tour of some more areas here in the shop, and to remind you all about the special Valentine event that's happening here on February 18th and 19th. Although I can tell you that there are several of the dealers here in the Seville Antiques who have already put those heart tags on their items in their shop. So if you can't make it for that 18th and 19th, don't feel like you are losing out. If you're able to come now, tomorrow, the mall is open every day except Tuesdays. And they are open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So make sure that if you are in the area and you're able to stop by, it is definitely worthwhile, because as I'm walking around here today, I am seeing several of the booths that already have the heart tags in them. So don't hesitate to come early if you are able to. Now, that's not saying that I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for my booth. Lots of other things going on, so I've just not gotten to that yet. But I'm in just an absolutely gorgeous booth here in Seville Antiques that is loaded, just loaded with primitives and these gorgeous Crocs. I am seeing so many things that I would just love to have added to our Cape on the corner. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe to our channel. It helps us in more ways than you can imagine. There is no cost to do that, and all it does is get our videos out to so many more people. And I am really hoping that maybe with your help, that by the end of the week or end of next week, we'll be at over 3,000 subscribers. It just helps us get our videos seen by more people. So it's a way that you can help our small business thrive. There have been so many shops that have closed in the last couple of years. COVID has not been kind. So that's one way that you can help all of us. Keep this going. These Crocs here, these jug Crocs, are just gorgeous. That one there at the end is sort of that ovoid, O-V-O-I-D shape. This 8-drawer cabinet would just be gorgeous on a countertop. If you don't have room on the back side of the countertop, maybe even on a peninsula or a farm table. Love that old paint. And this one also, this 4-part cubby. Now, if you know me and you've watched our videos, you know how much the number 4 means to me, especially 44. But 4 and 44 are so special. So with the 4 cubbies, that one really, and that color, that paint on the side is so striking. Looks like that blue over maybe like a red ox blood. There's also a striped jug, mug, the cobalt blue. Actually, that's a pitcher. There is a spout on that side. There are so many shows going on or getting ready to be going on. I know the Nashville show. Seville Antiques is a big destination spot for people that are heading there. So if you are in the area and you're heading down to the Nashville show, we are an easy hop off of 71, off of 77, off of 224, 76 coming across. We're just a really, we're in a perfect location, just an easy spot here. This is located at 14 Milton Street in Seville, Ohio. Love that barrel and that barn lantern. There's another one of those over here, and that one has the little flicker candle in it. My husband was in the shop the other day, and that really caught his eye. Those barn lanterns. Love that rocking chair there. And those paddles. And there's some sugar cones. So we'll go ahead and head on down this way. This shop, Seville Antiques, has over 5,000 square feet, more than 30 dealers. It has been in this location for a very long time. There were several owners prior to one. Joyce was here for a very long time. And it is just one of those destination locations. If you are fond of, or your heart is in these primitive antiques, you won't be disappointed here. It's not a shop where you are, wandering over or having to hunt between vintage items. It's the real deal here. It's a neat little log cabin. And a hetchel, an old scraper for either flax or, I would say that is a flax scraper, to get the husk off of the outside of it. I've mentioned in one of the other videos that I have a couple of flax breaks. I am going to try to bring those for the special Valentine open house. And depending on the weather, I may be able to even demonstrate that. I do have a large bundle of the dried flax, so it's such an interesting material to be able to take this plant that sort of almost like a wheat or a weed, really like a weed plant material, long and thin, and you hit it with this break, this kind of a piece of wood that comes down and smacks it, and in doing that, it breaks the husk off of the plant material. This is a new piece here in the shop. Wow. I was just telling Jim today that he's putting some blocking into the house so that we have places where cabinets and things like that can be hung on the walls. And we were putting it in one corner, and I said, this would be the perfect place for a corner cabinet. Love the coloring on that. It's a beautiful dough box. That would make such a lovely island in someone's home, or next to a sofa, between a couple of windows. Just so many options there. What I love about these pieces too is that even if someone had an ultra modern home, these pieces to me, when I look at them, they're art. They are so in their simplicity. I think that's why the the shaker furniture is so special and so prized is because of that simplicity of their lines, which is just so artistic. And this incredible set of drawers here. My goodness. That is just stunning. That red on the sides. See that age, the crackle. Oh, if these pieces could talk. I'd love to hear their stories. This, like a trade sign. 1792, clearly a hat maker's sign. These are old pieces. This is Matt Ershman's booth here at Seville Antiques. That's a very neat piece, and I love that rye basket sitting on top. Love how the base part has the paint, that scrub paint, and the top has that beautiful wood scrub top finish. Just amazing. And this gorgeous table. Then he's got another table here in the center with that sort of elongated stop sign. Top. I wanted to come over here and show that beautiful cutting board. He does have some really pretty peg racks in the shop too. There and there. And then a couple more over here. And that one on top. I keep trying to finish. I have a very large box of spinner gourds that I am wanting to get turned into some gourd garlands for the shop. Hopefully that I will have those done here before too long. Nice thing too, yep, okay, so she has written on here that this is a flax cutter. See how that smacks? So when you put those pieces of flax underneath, you would hit it with that several times, and the purpose is to break that outer coating off of that thin, fine flaxen, where the word comes from for, you know, she had flaxen hair. That's where that term comes from. And actually, this is a booth that I see the hearts are already out here. So if you're in the area and you are looking to do some prim shopping, again, you don't have to wait until that February 18th and 19th date. Go ahead and come now. There are many of the booths have those hearts already placed. A lot of our dealers are from out of town, so when they are able to come and stock their booths, so that must have been the perfect opportunity to come and get that taken care of and put the hearts everywhere as well. Whole rack or a whole stack there of dough boards. I know people, or cutting boards, I know a lot of people like to use those dough boards on top of their stoves, or also on top of their sinks to cover. And you can put some candles or something like that on top. Again, just make sure that the stove is completely off before you place that. This is one of those booths that's so fun, you really have to look and look again and again, because she does layer all of these pieces here in this shop. Again, what makes it so much fun, each of the dealers, although the time period is similar, where all these things go together so well, how things are stylized or put together in their booths, and how we do it in our homes can be so different. And I think that's how collecting these pieces and putting these pieces together, and why it becomes an expression for ourselves too. It's our our homes can become a piece of art. So these are pieces that make us happy, they bring us joy. Antique paper mache horse. This booth also has the heart stickers. It's a beautiful crock there, kind of an ovoid shape, 6-gallon. Wow. My goodness, I'm seeing the price tag on that. I hesitate to say prices because it doesn't, Crocs, I don't like to ship Crocs ever, and I don't believe that this is a booth that ships either, but you know, if somebody asked again in another video, or the comments in another video, could you tell us more about prices? Well, here's one of the reasons why I prefer not to, and that is, if you are in your area and you come across something that is just an absolute treasure because you love it, and your part of the country, that item is at a premium because of where you're at. And I tell you on my video that in our area, that item might be valued or priced here in the shop for, let's say where you find it, your piece is $100 piece. And let's say in our shop right here, there's one for $10. Now, when you're out and you're holding this piece that you love in your hands and you want to get it, and let's say you're in California, maybe that piece is normally $1,000. You're holding it in your hands for $100. I'd say grab it. I can tell you in our shop, maybe that item is priced at $10. How's that going to make you feel about that piece you're holding in your hand in California for $100? You need to be grabbing it. It doesn't mean that the piece in our area is worth more or worth less. These are items often that the prices are dependent upon where you are. There are things in California also, the mid-century modern pieces are so popular, maybe even, certainly even at a level higher than they are here in our part of the country. But if you love it, if you find it and you love it, and it makes your heart happy, then I say grab it. Because there is a saying that my mom and I have had for years, and that is that we can have 20/20 hindsight about the items that we didn't pick up. And when you have that, then you regret those things you didn't buy. You can always sell it. right? You may always be able to sell it or change your style later. But those pieces that you missed, those pieces that you didn't grab, boy, that 2020 hindsight of those items that you wished you had, you don't tend to regret the things you buy, but you do regret the things that you didn't. So that's been our saying together for a lot of years. And like I said, you could always sell it, but once it's in someone else's hands, it's gone. Here's this beautiful bowl, let's start that over again. Beautiful early burl bowl with an old repair. This one says on it that it comes from the Rita Caron collection, Carrin. Flip that over this way. Oh my gosh. And actually, it's so heavy with it being burl. It almost feels like a piece of stone. Incredible. This is sitting on top of an early sawbuck table. And it is dated 1872. And actually, it is even signed. Their initials are underneath the bottom of this table. Let's see if I can, oh my goodness. That is just gorgeous. That beautiful keg there on that little stand. There's a hornbeam here also. Now, if you're not familiar with a hornbeam, those are hollowed out trunks or pieces of wood that would have been hollowed out and dried and then used for storage in the early primitive days. The old homesteaders. You know, you can imagine they didn't have the ability to just go to the local store and pick up some Rubbermaid totes or something like that. They had to make do with the products that they had at hand. And so if there was a tree stump that they could use and hollow out and then fill it with items, that's what they did. And that's called a hornbeam, Hornbeam. That is an absolutely gorgeous brown chintz petticoat. Wow, just imagine what the dress looked like with that. This is a very early, again, hackle. It's decorated and maybe even has initials there. It's gorgeous. So this is just the center part, one center portion of Seville antiques. We'll head over here. A little coffee grinder and a coverlet. You know, some of these pieces too, if you're hearing what I'm saying now, I have lived with these pieces and since I was young, since my parents became collectors, and I really didn't go through the stage of collecting anything else or furnishing my home with any other style. This is what it's always been, more or less different parts of that style. But the nice thing is when you come into a shop like this, many of the dealers here also have pretty well defined tags on the items. So it really can be like a history lesson. Now, certainly I don't know what everything is, but the price tags will often say on them also. They will give you that piece of information that you maybe don't know. And then the really fun part too is, when you're out and you're at a flea market or at maybe a church sale or something like that, and then you see that item that is, you saw it in one of these shops, you saw the price tag on it, and you've educated yourself from coming into the shows or the shops. And then you get that lucky break of being in the right place at the right time. That doesn't happen every day. I can't imagine furnishing a home that way. That would take a very long time. And that's why the shops are so much fun. Because you'll walk in and something will just catch your eye, and you know that just has to go home with you. It's an absolutely beautiful clock. Love the paper in the back. That probably would have had a piece of mirror in the bottom part of it. But honestly, I like it better without. As you can see, that information about was an Eli Terry clock. It's gorgeous. That carving at the top and along the sides. And beautiful, beautiful mirror. That little box, grain painted with the drawer. So, like I said earlier, if you can, like, subscribe, share our videos. Don't hesitate, if you know what the rules are for the various pages, please go ahead and share our videos with your other prim friends. Share it to your own wall so that your prim friends can see it and start following and watching our channel as well. I do have a Facebook page also, the Cape on the corner at Tweedthistle Farms. I did post, this last video was a post of just my booth as I had restocked it. I want to thank everybody that purchased, made purchases. All of your items went in the mail this morning. So you should be receiving those in no time. I just am so thankful and so humbled by everybody's kind words about our channel and about the places that I've been blessed to be taking you all. If you know of another location that you would like me to go to in Ohio, I have several on my list. I've really wanted to let people kind of chill after all the excitement of Christmas, get their shops kind of restocked. January tends to be kind of a quiet month. There's a lot with the holidays. And so now we're at February, things are gearing back up, and I expect to be doing lots of videos here in the future. I think this is a bundle of the flax. I've been talking about flax on and off throughout this whole video. And this is what I'm talking about here. This is inside the plant. So when you break that outer fiber, this beautiful, soft, it looks like what they call it, flaxen hair. It has a sheen to it. And this is what they would then use on a special flax wheel, a spinning wheel, to spin into a thread, and then that thread would then be woven into a fabric. But that is what I'm referring to when I talk about flax. It's just gorgeous. And that's a little flax braid or flax bundle. These are awesome hanging on those pegs like we saw in Matt's booth. They're just beautiful hanging in those. Lovely set of bells. All right, so I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you comment below. I try very, very hard to answer all of your comments. And I hope you have a very blessed day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.